Good morning, this is Deepak. If you desire to make your day a masterpiece, you need to have a good attitude. Go smiling to your job. Go cheerfully to your business with a positive attitude. Listen to my talk. If you want to make any changes, do it today. Your attitude is a choice. If you desire to make your day a masterpiece, then you need to have a great attitude. If it's not good now, you need to change. Make the decision today. In Peanuts comic, Lucy announces, "Boy, I do feel crabby today." Her little brother, Linus, always anxious to relieve tensions at home, responds, "Maybe I can be of help. Why don't you just take my place here in front of TV while I go and fix you a snack?" Then Linus brings her a sandwich, a few chocolate cookies, and some milk. "Now, is there anything else I can get you?" he asks. "Is there anything I haven't thought of?" "Yes, there's one thing you haven't thought of," Lucy answers. And then she suddenly screams, "I don't want to feel better." Many people are like Lucy in their life. There are things in your life you cannot choose, such as your parents, where you were born, or your race. But your attitude is something you can change. Have you ever been to any class reunion 10 or 15 years after your graduation? If you have gone, you must be surprised by the transformation of one of your former classmates, the misfit who became a famous lawyer, the plain Jane who blossomed into a movie star, or the geek who founded a major corporation. How do such transformations occur? Those people changed how they thought of themselves. You saw them as they were. They themselves saw as they could be. They learned to act like and acquire the skills of the people they wanted to be. The transformation usually takes time. Often it's barely noticeable to those who see you every day. Just as the parents don't see changes in the babies the way others do. To someone who hasn't seen them in 10, 20 or 30 years, the transformation seems miraculous, like a butterfly from a caterpillar. If you desire to change yourself, then start with your mind. Believe you can improve, that you can change into the person you desire to be. Ralph Emerson said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." If your thinking changes, then everything else can follow. One of the secrets of maintaining a good attitude is valuing people. You can't dislike people and have a good attitude at the same time. You cannot have a bad attitude and encourage others at the same time. Encouraging others means helping people, looking for the best in them, and trying to bring out their positive qualities. Interactions with others sets the tone of your day. It's like the music of your life. When you place high value on people and you treat them well, it's like listening to a sweet melody as you go through your day. Have you ever known people who complain about everything? The soup is very hot. The bed is dirty. The vacations are very short. The pay is too low. You sit by such people in a magnificent banquet. While you enjoy every morsel, they tell you what's wrong with each and every dish. Such people don't appreciate life no matter how good it gets. I'll tell you a story of a independent 92-year-old lady who was moving into a nursing home. She was legally blind and her husband of 70 years had passed away. The move was her only option. She waited in the lobby of the facility for a long time before finally being told that her room was ready. As she was escorted down the corridor, her attendant described the room, down to the curtains which were hanging on the windows. "I love it," the elderly lady enthused. "But you haven't seen the room yet, just wait," the attendant responded. "That doesn't have to do with it," she replied. "Happiness is something you decide ahead of time. Whether I like my room or not doesn't depend how the furniture is arranged. It is how I arrange my mind." Appreciation isn't a matter of taste or sophistication. It's a matter of perspective. John Wooden, the famous coach, said, "Things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out." The stronger your inclination to be pessimistic or critical, the more attitude you will need to change. Mother Teresa was asked the requirements for people assisting her work with destitutes in Calcutta. She cited two things: a desire to work hard and a joyful attitude. If someone could be expected to be joyful among the dying and the poorest of poor, then certainly we can do the same in our situation. Make a habit to include positive comments in every conversation with others. Tell your wife how beautiful she looks. Compliment your children every time you see. Pour out praises every time you see your grandchildren. Don't stop there. Sincerely compliment, praise, acknowledge, bolster, raise up, and reward people wherever you can. Of all virtues, gratitude seems to be the least expressed. How often do the people go out of their way to thank you? How often do you receive a thank you note when you give a gift? More important, how often do you extend your thanks to others? A few years ago, Oprah Winfrey encouraged her millions of TV viewers to keep a gratitude journal to help them appreciate life. Amy Vanderbilt, an etiquette book writer, said, "When we learn to give thanks, we are learning to concentrate not on the bad things but on the good things in our life. Thinking about good things helps us to be grateful. Remaining grateful helps us to have a more positive attitude. And having a positive attitude prompts us to think about the good rather than bad. It's a positive cycle that helps to fuel itself. Thank you so much for listening. I do hope you will change your attitude in the right direction. Have a good day.